Everybody good? Okay, go ahead, Karen.
Governor, you're going to Knoxville later today.
Right now.
To vote to be on the at the trustees meeting. Board of Regents is meeting tomorrow here. You said you won't stand in the way of the tuition increases. Why not?
Well, I think it's important for us to be realistic when we're dealing with our state schools, and we're as a state are giving them a lot less funding than we used to in the past, and there's several things they have to do to react to that. The first thing we're asking them to do is make sure they watch their own costs and continue to skinny down their organizations just like we're doing in state government. The second is to make certain that their tuition is competitive with their peer institutions, and if you look, even with the increase, they're still very competitive and really at the bottom end of where their peer institutions are. So I don't think anybody likes tuition increases like this. This cannot be the long-term answer, but for now, I think given the situation they're in, I think it's probably the right choice.
I think I've seen this number. It's going to be $774 extra dollars a year per student.
Right.
That's a pretty steep hike.
It is a very steep hike, and so I think one of the things we're looking at is what's the net number look like to everyone by the time all scholarships are done, etc. And then again, what's the competitive position with other universities? It is a steep hike, and my concern is that we price higher ed out of range for middle-class families while we're trying to increase the number of college graduates. So that's one of the big issues that we're having to deal with. If it was easy, we would already have the answer, but higher ed is getting less money from the state as healthcare costs take a bigger part of our budget. They have to react somehow.
Governor, you have signed on to this objection to the National Labor Relations Board on Boeing in South Carolina. The Attorney General, our Attorney General, has not coincided with that. Do you sense any frustration with our Attorney General in that regard?
No, I don't. I mean, General Cooper has a role to play in that. He's supposed to be the state's lawyer and expressing opinions there. I look at this and say, I'm not sure why the federal government should decide whether that plant should be in Washington or in South Carolina. I mean, if we're trying to chase business overseas, that's one thing. But in this case, they're not cutting jobs in Washington. Boeing's not, as I understand it. They're adding jobs in South Carolina. That should be a company's choice.
You have announced quite a few new jobs since you've come on board, the Department of Economic Development. Is it too early to attribute those to your administration, or do you claim some of those?
Well, I mean, we would love to. It's hard to say. In some of those cases, there are initiatives we started since we got here. Some of them we were handed the baton from Governor Bredesen's administration. So it's a mixed bag. We certainly can't claim credit for all of them, but some of those are things that we began the relationship since we got there. So it's interesting as you talk to companies about how they decide where they're going to go. It's all sorts of reasons. Sometimes it's the state worked with us effectively over a 2-year period. Sometimes you came and made a great presentation. Sometimes it's my spouse came with me on the trip and she liked the city, or he liked the city. So it's a wide variety of things. But we do think we're making progress, and actually this week there have been a couple more things that we think we're close on.
So, Governor, you don't think the 40,000 people following you on Facebook are your close personal friends?
I just don't. Sometimes I read some of the things they say, so they're maybe they're fans, but not admirers.
What does that account? I mean, 40,000 is a large number, but that's in the grand scheme of things.
Out of 6 million Tennesseans, sure.
I mean,
it's not, but I think what you do see is you do see a trend of people picking up and wanting more information that way. So yeah, is that in terms of 6 million Tennesseans? Well, I can't do the math that fast in my head. It's less than 1%, obviously, but it's a way for us to get information out for people who want it. All right, Bess.
Thank you.